Okay, yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I believe everyone can hear me. So yesterday we talked about our Power BI project. So that is supposed to be our third project. So now let me just try to show us in case you are not present in class yesterday. So we can see we already have three projects, and the fourth part will be released tomorrow. So you can see here we have our where is it? You can see we have our I'm trying to show another thing. Anyway, we have our part one project here. Sorry. So I don't know. This is our part one. This is part one project. This is part two. This is part three PowerPoint project. That's for Power BI project. So the part four will be released during the week. So we are expected to be done with all the Power BI projects before the next class. That's on Saturday. So today we'll be moving on to the next analytics tool, which is SQL. So let me just explain what SQL is. I believe everyone can hear me currently. So SQL means structured query language. Some people call it SQL, some people call it SQL. Whichever one you call it, it is actually correct. So you can call it SQL, you can call it SQL, but I prefer calling it SQL. Just a personal decision. Doesn't mean that's the correct way of pronouncing it. So SQL means structured query language, and it is a language used to direct in different database using a query. So what is database? Database is an organized connection of data stored. So actually, database is just, in simple words, it's just something we refer to as the table. So we can see inside the table we have rows and columns. So that's basically what we call a database. A database is something that can be represented in rows and columns. So we have some small data sets which we have been working with throughout this training session. They are all classified to as small data sets, because you can see the most rows we've used in this particular data set is like 40,000. So we have data rows that are up to 1 million, 2 million, thereabouts. So, and why we can't, Excel, the one of our analytics tool that we are using, only has about 1,400,000 rows. So let's say you are working in a bank, right? Even in it, let's say you are working in a GT bank. GT bank has almost 500,000 branch in the whole country. So now let's say you are working in just a minute. GT Bank can record a transaction of about 1 million in just a minute across the country. So now let's imagine all the data are stored in Excel. So that means it won't be able to collect it, because the whole Excel sheet can only contain 1,400,000 plus rows. So now imagine you have to do that for an hour, 2 hours, for 24 hours, and you have to store data for days, for years, for months. Excel cannot be the ideal analytics tool to store the data set. So which is why we want to store this particular data set in the cloud. So we would have heard a lot about cloud, especially if you are using an iPhone. You already know a lot about is it iCloud? Yeah. You already know about iCloud. So you have to store the data in the cloud. So that's basically what we call database or this query. The data are stored in the cloud, so it enhance security, because I will still explain how it enhance security. The first one is because it is stored in the cloud. Now there are no limited data that can be stored in it, so we can store millions of data, billions, trillions of data in it, which is why we say, why do we store data on the cloud? So the first thing is trillions of data can be stored. Also, the security issue. Now, just imagine you store your data in your computer, in your Excel file. So it is easily accessible by anyone. You can just log into your computer, then access the file in the Excel or CSV format or anything. But if it is in the cloud, before you gain access, it will have you will have gone through a lot of security checks. So it enhance security, it provide more, it's enable your data to be more secured, so also better decision making. Now, because it is in the cloud, let's say you have multinational company. What I'm trying to say is that you have a big organization. So when you have a big organization, you have different team members. So there will be some members that will be working in the data analysis team. There will be some member that will be working in the data science team. Hello, are you talking to me? Grace, are you there? Okay, I guess she's not talking to me.
Yeah, yes, I am.
Okay, your speaker was
Sorry, I'm not.
okay. So now let's say you have a multinational company, you have different team member in your company. You have the data analysis team, you have the data science team, you have the front end, the back end. Now the data is in the cloud, so the data analysis team can easily access the data. Then the data science teams can the data science team can also access the data. You know, no one is interrupting each other because it is stored in a particular cloud. So it's not like it is stored in a system where if HR wants to work on with that data, he or she needs to come down to the system, or the data analysis needs to come down to the system. You understand? So it is even updated in real time. So and also it is information is readily available because it is accessible. So we have different type of database management system. We have the Oracle. We have the um, Okay, I think I should start with types of database. So we have different type of database system as I've told us earlier. We have the relational and the non-relational database. So the relational database is the data that we can store it in rows and columns. So I think I've explained that, and we have been working with a lot of rows and columns in the past, and that's exactly what we call relational database. Now we also have no non-relational database, or sometimes we call it NoSQL. So this NoSQL is just like let's say you want to get you release a movie, right? On Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Obviously, you release a movie there. So you want to know how many hate comments or positive review or positive comments your video gets. So obviously, um, if they are commenting, you will not get the data in rows and columns because it is just a comment. So you need to scrape it. Basically, um you need to gather all the information you can get online, then gather it. So that's what we call then gather it and store it in a cloud. So then you will now analyze it if it is a positive comment or it's a negative comment. Basically, a that's what we call NoSQL. That's what we call non-relational database. So we have different type of database management system. We have the Oracle, we have the MySQL. So when I say Oracle, we have the Oracle, we have MySQL. So this is one of the database. This is MySQL. So we also have Oracle. Also Oracle is a type of DBMS, that's database management system. We also have another one, PostgreSQL. We have SQL Server, that's SQL Server. We have quite a large number of DBMS. We have BigQuery also. We have a number of them. So in this particular training cohort, we'll be using MySQL. So because the interface is simple to learn and it is very easy, and all of these DBMS I've mentioned, they are doing the same work. But I just feel like MySQL MySQL is simpler to learn and easy to learn. But if you can work with MySQL very well, you can work with every other thing. Just a little difference there. Not obvious difference like that. Okay, so now let's just continue. I think I've explained how to download this particular MySQL yesterday. So let's just launch it. So now when I launch it, there's quite a lot. Please, are you guys still with me? Please, if you are with me, can you reply with an emoji? So I know you guys are with me. Okay, great. Okay. Mr. Mohammed, are you ready now?
Yes, I'm ready. So I learned
Okay,
initially the reason why I was having issues because the transparency.
exactly. You have to change it. You have
Yes,
to reduce the transparency.
yes,
Very well.
I've worked on it and it's already okay. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So when you launch your MySQL, the first thing you need to launch is you have to click on this local instance. So when you click on it, it will lead you to the MySQL interface. And I think I explained this interface yesterday. So this is our query. This is where we actually write the code. This is our schema here. Then we also have the columns header. This is where we see the columns header here. Then this is where we will see our output, whether what we are writing, if we are writing a false or a we are writing bad codes. Let me just like that. So this particular thing is just like English language, this particular SQL. Plus, I don't want us to see it as a big deal. It's just English language. It's just like you are speaking English language, and I am very much certain that everyone on this call can speak in English. So the first thing is we have different type of words. We have some keywords. So I told us yesterday, it's just like these keywords, pre uh they are pre-informed, or uh they have been code to mean or to do entire function for us. Now let's say something like create. So if you write create like this, create is not just an English word. Create, whenever you write create, that means you are trying to make something, right? Basically, that's what the meaning of create. So it's a keyword, and you can see the color. You can see it is color blue. So if you write something like sheet 2, because sheet 2 has not been informed before, has not been preformed or pre-coded or pre-code before. So you can see Shitu is in black color because Shitu is just an ordinary word. So when you see something in color blue, you already know that keywords are in color blue. But actually, as a professional, or if you want to look like a professional, when you see a word written in blue, you don't want to write it in small letter, or you don't want to write it in sentence case just like this. You want to write it in all in capital letter. So now let's say, but there is no difference, but it makes you SQL is not case sensitive, but it makes you look like you are a professional. So you want to write something like create, right? Create. Can you see this create now? It's now in capital letter. It makes you look like a professional. So we have quite number of keywords. So now let me just write it out. We have create, we have we have form, we have where, we have or, we have limits. I think we have is we have when, we have a whole lot of keywords, right? These are what we call keywords. So another thing is we have something we call data types. So can someone omit them? I can tell me a data types that we have. A data type that we have. Hello, anyone?
I think we have numerical data type and text data type.
Yeah, thank you so much.
My type.
Basically, yeah, you are, but not in this case. I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, not in this case. You are correct, right? If you know that we have two major type of data, that's numerical data type and alphabetical data type. But in this case, these particular data types, they are broken down. Even though that's the major classification, they are broken down. So we have what we call integer. So when you say something is integer, can you tell me what's the meaning of integer? Grace, what do we mean by integer?
I think integer is maybe 0, 1, 2.
Exactly. Integer is whole number, right? It is still a
Yeah.
numerical data type. It's still a numerical data type.
Yes, yes.
Exactly. So we also have decimal. Now, decimal is what? It's still a numerical data type, but it is broken down into integer and decimal, right? So we also have dates. We have our dates. We have what else? Integer, decimal. Okay, we have var. So now when you see something like VACA, you see like, what is the meaning of VACA? So actually, this and the full meaning of this thing is variable character. Variable character. So now when you say something is variable character, that means the number of letters. Basically, let's say something like sheet now. How many letters word is this one? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means my variable character will be what? 6. So whenever you see variable character, it is referring to what? Alphabetical or yes, alphabetical data type. Do you get that, Grace?
Yes.
Okay. So when you have something like VACA, it is referring to what? Text data type. So now let's just move on. Okay. Good. Um, variable character, we have 6. Okay. Um, we have quite a lot of data types. So now let's just take it. So in this one, we also have another one. I just remember that one now, which is quite important. We have what we call selects. So yeah. So now one thing about this thing about SQL is that you can see something like it is lingering. This particular code, it looks like it's lingering. So if I actually press this minus, I guess you can all see it. Please can you see my screen? Please, if you can see my screen, can you reply with an emoji? No one. No one can see my screen. Okay, great. So you can see my screen. So there's something like a negative here or a minus. So if you actually click on this particular negative sign, so you can see it looks like I've collapsed the lines of code, right? So actually, and this is actually supposed to mean a particular these are keywords that I showed us here first time. Now I can just write keywords in front of this. So these are keywords, right? These are data types. So they are supposed to mean different lines of code. This is supposed to be a line of code, right? Because I'm just trying to show us what keywords keyword are or keyword is. So we also have data type. I'm showing us what different data type is. I'm not supposed to be able to collapse them into each other. So that's why whenever you are done with a line of code, you want to end it with a semicolon. Now, once you end it with semicolon, if I press enter now, and I end this one also with a semicolon, uh, okay, it's still going, but actually it's not supposed to go again. Okay, let me just say press Control Enter. So when I press Control Enter, Control plus Enter, you can see it is already running. So if I should to run this one, I also get keyword create. It is giving that you have an error in your SQL syntax. Obviously, this is not a code yet. So because I know this is not a code, then why am I writing it as a code? So there's something we call comments. If you are not writing a code, you are writing a comment. That means there are some words. Maybe you are just writing some English words, obviously, and that's not a code. So you just start your word with an hashtag. So once you start your word with an hashtag, remember this keyword was color black before, right? Let me remove that so you can see. Keyword is just an ordinary word. It's not a keyword. The word keyword is not a keyword. It's just an ordinary word. But if you want to change everything, all the line here to a comment, you start with an hashtag, then click on your space. So you can see we have everything has changed to blue, right? Everything has changed to blue. That means everything here is now a comment. So you can see the this cancellation sign we can see here means that this particular line of code is not correct. So because I'm not writing a code, all I'm writing is I'm just trying to explain something to all of us here. So I'll just start with a comment. I'll just start with an hashtag. By writing an hashtag, then space, then you can see the cancellation sign has left because we are not writing a comment, right? So that's the first thing. So I think you understand what comment is now. You understand what comment is. You understand the keyword, example of keyword. You understand data type. You understand the SQL interface. You understand why we are using SQL as an analytics tool. That means in the space of 10-20 minutes, we've covered a lot of ground. Now let's move on to the next step. Please, if you understand to where I explained to, please can you signify with an emoji so I know you guys are with me there.
Sorry, please, I have a question.
Okay.
I thank you. So you said the comment is when you had the hashtag, right?
Exactly, sir. Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, that's the question.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's my question.
Oh, good. Yeah, that you're actually correct. So, do you understand everything we've done in this particular class?
Yes, I understood, but actually, I did not really start from the start when you're talking about the SQL interface. But I guess when I rewatch it, I'll understand better, more.
Yeah,
I understand
you
that
will.
part.
You will. Okay, now let's move on to the next important part. Um, so I think I'll use Excel to explain better. Now let me just open my Excel. Where's my Excel? Um, I guess you are seeing my screenshot. Okay. Is my screen audible there? I said audible. God, is my screen showing? Okay, great. So let's say we have country, we have name. Let me say we have country, we have population, we have what else? Um, country population. Let's see, we have organization. What else can we have? We have population. We have let's say gender. We have okay, great. So now let's just say this one is America, Nigeria. So we have let me just keep it into two. So we have 40,000, 400,000. So yeah, this one 370,000. So organization, let's say Tesla here. So let's say Techno here. So gender, let's say two. No, let's say five. For Nigeria, let's say we have two gender. Three gender. I don't think we have two. So okay. Okay, good. So that's great, Abby. So we have country, we have population, we have organization and data. Obviously, this is like a table, right? This is just like a miniature table. Table, we have seen a whole lot of table in our life. That is the Excel table, I mean. So you will be able to see that let's say country now. Country you have like a number of countries there, the number of population, the number of organization they are known for, then the gender approved. I think gender approved in Nigeria is actually two. Let me just write two. So in America, I think it's three or more than three. So let's just leave it like this. Basically, when we are done with this particular table, the first thing is you want to save it. Now you can see we have book one in Excel now. So you want to save it, you can just save this one as let's say country information, right? I'm trying to explain something in SQL, please. It's very, very important. So you can see country information because I want to save it, and I'm trying to save it where. Let's say I'm trying to save it. Let me just say motion. Um, let's save it on my desktop. So instead of book one, I want to save it as country information. Country info. Right. And save. Okay, now we can see the book one has changed into country info. So basically the same thing we want to write. If you want to create a table, the first thing you will do is what? Create. So what are you trying to create? You are creating a what? A table. right? What's the name of the table? Now remember, what's the name of the table here? The name of this table is what? Is country info. That's the name of the table because that's what I saved this particular table with. So that's basically what I'm trying to call now. So I want to create a table. What's the name of this table? Let's name it what? Country info. So let's just say something like country info, right? So you open your brackets. So what are the columns header? That will be the next thing you will be writing. So what are the columns header here? You have the country, you have the population. So I can just copy it so it will be easier for me to write. Control C. Let me just copy it down here. So we have country, we have population, we have organization, and we have gender. So now, when I wrote everything here, I saw that organization is written in blue. So who can tell me what's the implication of organization written in blue? What does it mean from what I've explained today? Anyone? Anyone? I can't hear you. Who is talking?
Maybe instead is written in blue. I think maybe is a command.
It is the keyword. I told us that keywords are
Oh,
written in blue. So I have to
okay.
change the one now because it is a keyword. So let's change this Z to S. So we can see that's just a normal word. Guys, do you understand that now? So that means organization is it's a keyword. So now the first thing is that's all the columns header, right? So now before you can say you are done, so the next thing is you have to specify in this particular country. Look at this country now. We can see inside this column, what's the data type that we have there? What's the name of this data type that I told us in SQL? America, Nigeria. What's the name of the data type here? Anyone? Okay, maybe
I
I
think
should
it's
look at this data type. What do you think
Trans
American data fall
is
under?
transfer
vaca, vaca,
relational
vaca.
Yeah, Vaka, you're actually
relational
correct.
database.
I can hear you. Someone is saying something.
Relational database.
Relational database. Yes, it is a relational database. That is, it is a table, right? But I'm just asking for a question that I'm just asking a question that this America, right? It's a word. Nigeria, it's a word. What type of data type? You know, it is an
Text.
alphabetical data type. So it is a text data type, right? But I already explained while I was doing while I was explaining my SQL data type that we have different type of SQL data type. So instead of saying text data type, it is called VACA data type in SQL. Do you get that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now this country it will be represented with what VACA. So you have to open your bracket and close it. So now that means what is the variable character of America? That's 7. Nigeria is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's also 7. Nigeria is 7. That means both of them are 7. But to be safe, I can just say I'm expecting all the countries that will be in this particular column should not have more than 50 letters. Or to play it safe, you can write 20, right? Right? Doesn't matter. So now population. Let's look at this population. Population is what? Is a whole number. So if you look at this particular data type here that I've written, what do you think will be? Will it be integer, decimal, date, varchar? What do you think will be the data type
Integer.
integer? So instead of writing integer, you write something like int, right? So organization, let's look at the organization here. Organization, we have Tesla, we have Techno. What do you think will be the data type in SQL?
Vacha.
Varchar. So sorry, I did a mistake here. This is varchar. So this one has to be varchar. Open your bracket. So I can just write something like 30. I'm expecting all the organization should not be more than 30. Now my gender. Look at this gender. What do you think will be the data type in SQL? Yeah.
This one.
Oh no,
Oh,
let's look at
okay, okay, gender. Mm-hmm.
gender. 5 and 2.
It'll be integer.
Exactly. So you write what? You write integer, right? So because I'm done with this one, I have to write a comma. This is a particular colon, so I have to write a comma here. So this is the last colon. So I'm not expected to write a comma here. So remember, I opened the bracket here. That's the first bracket. So I have to close my bracket here. So when I close it, to end any query in SQL, with what? You end it with semicolon. So let's run this one. I can press Control Enter, it will run. So I can also press this one. Can you see? Execute. I can also press the second one too. Execute. It's still the same thing. And let's run it. It's giving create table info. Okay, it's saying that there is no database selected. Okay. So the meaning of database is that where do you want to store this particular information that you are using? So let's just create that one. To create a database, you just write something like create database.
Sorry.
Yeah? What's it?
Sorry, I cannot see the screen again. I cannot see your screen again. I don't know if it's only me.
Please can if you can see my screen, can you unmute my mic?
Oh, you can see the screen, sir.
Hey God. So you can see my own screen, but she cannot see it. Okay, someone said she
I'll
can.
try to log out.
Okay, log out. I will be waiting for you just 45 seconds. Thank you. Is she back? Okay. Can you see my screen now? Okay. I guess you will watch the recording. So now when I run this one, can you see when I run it now? It is giving me an error code. Then it is telling me that no database selected. It's just like when I wanted to save my computer the other time. Remember, when I wanted to save it, I saved it on in my desktop. So if I actually click on it, then I can actually see what I've saved because I clicked my desktop. So the same thing my SQL is requesting for, that this particular information, where should I save it? So I want to save it in a database. This actually is database. This SQRS is a database. So to create a database, you can just name your database anything. So you just write create database. What's the name of this database? Let's say country. Let's name it country. You can name it anything. So and if you want to end any line of code in SQL, you end it with what? With a semicolon, right? So you can just run this one. Control enter. That's the shortcut. And it is now using one row affected. Can you see? This one is showing a green line. I don't know if you can all see it. Please, can you see my screen? Can you see what I'm showing? Please, you can zoom your screen also. If you cannot see the thing I'm writing, you can also zoom your screen. But let me try to zoom my own also here. Okay, can you see it better now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it is showing create database one role affected because this particular role is not working. So to see your database that you have created, you will just go to this schema. Then there's a refresh button here. So let's just click on refresh. So you can actually see we have our database here. So to actually use this database, you will just come here. Let's say you just press use database. What is the name of our database? Country, right? And if you are done, when you are done with a particular query, what do you end it with? A semicolon, right? So you can just you can press this one. Okay, sorry, instead of use database, sorry, that was a mistake. You can just say use country, control enter. So it is saying now you can see it is already using our country database. Now let's try to run this particular code we've written before. So let's run it again. So you can see it is now running now. This particular table is running. So now let's call it. Um, please, do you understand everything we've written here? So basically, what we've written here is just that we create where we want to save our particular line of code here. We created that. We create a country database. This is a country database. Then I'm instructing the SQL to use. We have two databases now. We have the country database and we have the system database. So I'm now instructing I'm now instructing SQL to use this particular one instead of using the one on my system already. So that's why I said something like use country. Instead of using, I wrote use database country, the line of code is wrong. So it is actually supposed to be use country. Okay, someone wants to ask a question.
Yes, sir. So when from that number 4, when you created the table country and gave the information, I think the
Okay.
system refused to recognize it. So now at 11 that you created a database named country and then use the country, how will SQL know that that database you are talking is this create table at number 4?
Okay. What I did was I create before when I ran it, let's look at the line of code. Um, let's look at this. So when I run this one, this particular number 5 error here, can you see the error message, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it
Okay.
is asking that no database selected, right? So
Yes, sir.
I tried to create a new database and my database is now running, right?
Yes, sir.
So I run this particular code again. Now that my database is running, remember this 11 is running. This one is not
Yes,
running
sir.
yet. This line of code is not running yet, but this one is already
Okay.
running. This one is already
Okay.
running, right? So I tried to run it. It is asking me that where is it? I tried to run it. It's saying that no database selected already. And I know I've created a database. So I now say use country. This one is running. This 11 is running already. This 12 is running. So after that one, then I ran create table, which is what? That means this particular line of code ran and these two lines of code
Okay, I
ran
understand, sir.
for
I didn't see
this.
the I didn't see the command create table, uh the last one.
Oh, you not see the error message?
No, it's not the error message. I didn't see that you run create table
Oh yeah, now
after use country. Yes, sir.
I did. You get that now?
Uh, yes, sir. Hmm.
Uh, So now that my table is now running, so how can I see my table? So there is some keywords to see your table. You just press select. I know it is a whole lot of things that we are learning today, but I need us to learn it, right? So we write select something like asterisk. So this asterisk means select everything. That's meaning of asterisk from. So where are we selecting? What's the name of the table? This is the name of the table. So don't worry, I will still break everything down in case you don't understand. Control V. So now let's run this one. So I can just highlight this one. I can run it anyway. So it is running already. So we can see we have created a column header, country, population, organization, gender. So it is now looking like our Excel table. Can you see we have our country, population, organization, gender. That means we have done the same thing in Excel, in SQL rather. So now let's do it again in case you don't understand. Um, so um, okay. So now let's try to do it again. So the first thing is you want to create a table. So let's say I want to create a table. So I want us to look at it very well now because I know I have explained, but then it looks like we are learning a lot. But I want to do another thing now. So what are we trying to do? You can already see that we are using a database here. This is what we call database. We have two types of database here. So if I actually click on this one, can you see this one is bold now? That means we are already using SYS. If I bold this one by double clicking on country, that means this particular database is bold. If I click on this table now, okay, nothing has been stored on. Okay, so now the first thing is I want to create a table. My database is already working because it is bold, right? So the first thing is I want to create a table. So you just write create. Now, because remember when I was writing create here, I knew I was writing in sentence case and it worked, right? I knew I was just writing in normal case. It worked. Well, I told us that as a professional, anything that is it is colored in blue, if you actually want to look like a professional, you have to write it in what? In a capital letter. So all these blue words, they are what we call keywords. So instead of writing normal create as create, you just start with your capital letter. That's what's create. But doesn't matter that if you write it in sentence case as I've written it, it won't work. As you can see, this works, right? So you want to start with your create. What's the name of your table? Let's say you want to create you have to tell them what are you trying to create. I want to create a table. So what's the name of your table? Now let's name this one what? Can someone suggest a name of a table? Any name? Let's say continents. Let's say continent. Right? So that's what we're trying to create a table named what? Named continent. So inside this particular continent, what would be the columns header inside this particular table? So the first thing is the first column that will be there, let's say countries will be there. So you want to write your country, then enter. What else? What else will be there? Let's say population. Let's say average life expectancy. Average, instead of saying average, let me just say AVG, life expectancy, right? Then let's say, what else can I, in a continent? Let's say gender, right? That's the column header. So now you want to tell me, when you want to write a country, example of countries of America, Nigeria, Angola, Gambia, right? Those are text data type. But in SQL, we don't call it text data type. We call it what? VACA. VACA. Now, once you press on this VACA, you can see it is in blue color. What do you think you need to do? You need to write it in capital letter. So you need to do it as a professional. That's what makes you look like a professional. So now you can see Angola, Gambia, all these countries, they cannot have more than 20 letters word. You can just say you are expecting not more than 20 letters word here. So that's why I'm writing 20 inside the brackets. So this population now, you're expecting maybe 1 million, 2 billion. It is a whole number. You cannot have 1 million, 2 million. One cannot have 1 million dot 21. It's not possible. You cannot have a decimal. So you have what? Integer. You have a whole number, right? So I'm still writing it in capital letter because it is a keyword. So average life expectancy, you can have something like 63, 71. You cannot have decimal number, right? Unless in some cases, but you cannot, most times you don't have decimal number. So you want to write what? Integer also. So gender, you're expecting something like male. So you're expecting something like male, female. So you're expecting it to be what? VACA. So even if it is transgender, you are not expecting it to be more than 50 letters word or maybe 20, depending on whatever. You can just write 25. So there's no a fixed one. But because this is a column header, so you want to write a comma here. You want to write this one a comma, this one a comma, this one because this is the last one. So you don't need to add a comma here. So uh there is there is an open bracket here. So you need to cover it. You can actually cover it here, but to make your code look like professional, so you can just write it like this. Then if you want to end any query, what do you end it with? You end it with a semicolon. So you can run this particular code, line of code. Can you see we don't have any cancellation error? That means our line of code is correct. So you can run this particular line of code in three ways. You can use the shortcuts, that's the control enter. You can use this one, you can press this one, or you can press this one. Any of them works. Now let's try to press the second one here. So it is showing that a table has been affected and it is returning zero affected because there are no values inside. All we have created is what is the column header, right? So you want to write something like, now to see what you have created, you want to say select everything because I want to see all the columns header. So you want to write shifts. You want to write your asterisk from where are you selecting it from? What is the name of this table? That is, I want to see all the columns header in this particular table. What is the name of this table? Continent. So now I'm done with this particular line of code. You will end it with what? A semicolon. So remember, when I run this one, I use this one. So I want to run this one, I'll be using this one. So can you see it is working? No, it's not working. Okay. So let me just run this one. Okay, can you see? I don't know why it does not work the other time. We have our country population average life expectancy. Can you see? We have country, we have population, we have average life expectancy, we have our gender. Please, do you understand? Um, Munigo, do you understand? Are you with us? Um,
Yes, sir.
do you understand?
Understood, sir.
Okay. Um, Miss Bakia, are you there? Okay. I think everyone understood now. So the next thing is we want to impute values into this particular table, right? Remember, we have created two tables now. We created a table here. That's the country info. That's the table. We have also created another table, which is the continents. So because we don't understand um, country info was why I created the continent table. So we impute values into the two, and I think I will stop there for today. So it's not be like we are learning a whole lot in a day. So yeah, let's try to impute our values there. Mm, Okay, so it is just as I said earlier that SQL is just English. It's not like you are writing anything special. Now let's try to inside our country info. No, inside our country info, remember, the country info looks just exactly like this, right? Looks just exactly like this. So now we try to want to insert some values inside our country info. Now let's look at how our country info looks like in case you have forgotten. Where is it? So so now let's try to run it. So can you see country, population, organization, and gender? So now, because that's the country info, you want to insert a value. So I want to write a comment inserting a value in a table, right? So, so how do we insert? Uh, what is that name? So how do we insert a value? Obviously, from the word insert, the first thing you need to write what you want to insert value into country info. So you have to start with what insert, right? Into. So what's the name of the table? Because you want to insert some values into country info. Let me just copy
Country
it. So
info.
Control C. You want to insert Control V. So you want to insert into country info. What do you want to insert into country info? Anyone? Values, right? So you can just write values here. You can just write values here. So sorry. So you can just write your values. It's just like English language. You are trying to insert some values into your country info, right? So you can just click on enter, then write, open your brackets. So what are the values? So let me just copy it here so it will be faster. So these are the values here. Control C, Control V. So So this is the first row. That's why I'm demarcating it with what? With a comma, with a bracket. And let me just write it. Uh, right. Let me just write it. So I want to demarcate this one with a bracket also. So let's separate it with a comma. Right. So, but because this particular America, it is a text data type, it is a variable character. Remember, we have to put it in a double quotation mark because it is text data type. I think you have done this thing when you are writing your formula in Excel, right? You not write text data type the way you write your numerical data type because this one is a text data type. You have to support it with what? With a quotation mark. So you have to write America has to have a quotation mark. This one has to have a quotation mark also. So the same thing with Nigeria also. Because Nigeria is an alphabet, right? It consists of what? Alphabetical letters. Alphabetical yeah. So this step now also. So now that you are done with it, so whenever you are done with your query, what do? You end it with what? With a semicolon. Okay, this is the first rule. Obviously, there have to be a comma here. So now you can just highlight your code. So remember, we've used this one. So I want to use the shortcut now. Control and enter at the same time. Control. I hold on to my control, then I press my enter key. So can you see it is already working and it is showing that two rows affected. Can you see? These are two rows. These are two rows data. I actually see what I've done. So I'll just say something like select. What am I selecting? I'm selecting all the information. I'm selecting all the information from what table? What table are we working with? If you are with me, so I will know you guys are with me. What table are we working with? Anyone can unmute that mic.
Country info.
Exactly. So let me just copy it. Control C, Control V. So because I'm done with my code, I'll just end it with what? With a semicolon. So I can just click anyone here. So can we see? We have our America, Nigeria, 40,000, 37,000, Tesla, Techno, 5 and 2. Please, do you understand? Please, if you understand, please can you give out an emoji? So I know you so you have Maneva Mashud understood it. Mr. Mohammed, please, do you understand it? Okay.
Yes, sir. Clearly.
Miss Baki, please, are you there? Do you understand it? Okay. Can we move on or it's enough for today? Or should we move on?
So I think we can move on. We can move on. We still have some time if you are free.
We have time, but I don't want it to be a lot of information on us so that we will tire out. So now let's just move on.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Now let's try to insert values into our continent table also. Now let's look at our continent. Let's look at how it looks like. So let's run it again. So we have our country, population, average life expectancy, and gender. So now country, population, average life expectancy, and gender. So now let's try to do that one. So the first thing you write is I want to write the comment here. So inserting values for table into table table continents. Right. So the first thing you want to write is I want to insert value. So you write something like insert into. What's the name of the table you are working with now? You are working with continents. So you write something like continents. What are you trying to do? I want to insert some values there. So notice how I'm writing my keywords in capital letter. So you just start with a bracket. So we have our country our country in this one. Okay, so sorry. So sorry. So what is my country here? So an example of this country, we have Angola. We have to add, I have to put my Angola in quotation mark because it is a numerical data type, right? So we have our Angola. So the next thing is population. Population should be in numerical data type. So let's say this, we have 3,000 people here. So I don't need to add a quotation mark for that one. Average life expectancy, I don't need to add a quotation mark for this one. And let's say we have 42 here. So the gender, that's male or female. So I need to add a quotation mark because I'm writing male. At least we have 3,000 male in Angola, and their life expectancy is what 42. Obviously, this is not correct, right? Please don't quote it. So because I'm done with that particular line, so that's just of one row of data. So I can just copy this one to make things faster for me. So I can just do Control C. So instead of Angola, let's use Nigeria. So instead of 3,000, let's use 5,000. Let's change this one to 52. Let's change this one to female. So instead of Angola here, let's change this one to Gambia. Let's say change them to 5. So let's change this one to 42. Let's leave this one. So instead of Angola, let's leave this one. In other country, another star. So let's use 35 here. So let's use 32 here. So let's use more. So this one let's choose. Okay. Now let's try to run this one because this is the last row. Obviously, it does not need a comma, but we should end it with what a semicolon. So I want to I highlighted everything. So I'm using my shortcut command, that's Control and Enter. So you can see it is already running. It is saying that 5 rows affected. If you actually look at this row, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 rows of data. So to actually see what I've done, so I'll just write my command. We have select what everything from what table are we working with?
Country
Continent.
info.
So
Okay.
I'll just do Control Enter. So can you see? Please, do you understand this? Do you understand?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. But the table we are working with, the one I did not understand.
I don't understand what you meant
So, sir,
by the
are
table.
you inserting this one from country info into continent?
No, we are working independently.
Okay, I
So this,
understand.
this is continent table. It is
Yes, sir.
entirely different from country info table.
Yes, sir. It's a new data. This
Yes,
thing.
exactly. Okay.
Copy it, sir.
Okay, let's move on. So now we have our basic thing. We have select everything from continent. Now, what if I don't want to see everything? So instead of saying star, you can actually pick the country in the columns you want to see. Let's say I'm only interested in seeing the country here. So I will say country. Can you see? Because I only want to see the country. I don't want to see population. I don't want to see this one. I don't want to see this one. So I'll just run this one. I can run it anyway. Can you see? It is only returning the what? The country. So now let's say I want to see the average life expectancy. AVG. Average life expectancy. Right? So let's say I want to see only this one. So um, it's showing. I think I wrote the column wrongly. So let's try this one. Okay. So it is supposed to be EXP. I wrote EP. So can you see I'm only seeing the average life expectancy column, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's say I want to see the country and their average life expectancy. You can arrange it anyhow you want. Let's say I want to see the average life expectancy first, then followed by the what? By the country, followed by the population. Let's say I'm only interested in these three.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see? Average life expectancy is the first one you can see here, followed by what? Followed by the country, followed by the population. So let's say I want to see everything. So you can just say star instead of writing all the columns, then control enter. Please, do you understand that one too?
Yes, sir.
Good. Great. Thank you. Okay. Now it is getting interesting because I appreciate that you are understanding what we've been learning. So okay, let me introduce this one also. So now let me say something what we call select from where. So this particular three keywords, they are very, very important. Now, and I will try to explain it using university setting. So now let's say my name is Shitu and I'm studying mathematics in University of England. I'm studying mathematics in University of England. Obviously, there will be a lot of Shitu in England, right? So if I want to select, if they want to refer to me, they will say, I'm sorry, let me try to give another use case. My name is Shitu. I am in 100 level, that is, I'm in my first year. I'm studying mathematics in University of England, right? So they will say something like, go and call Shitu in Department of Mathematics in 100 level. Or something like, go and call Shitu studying mathematics in 100 level at the Department of in University of England, right? So basically, that's what we want to. That's the basic. So I'm trying to select. Let's say I want to select a country, right? I want to select a country, or let me select everything. So then I want to select everything from this table. I want to select everything from this table, but I'm not interested in everything. I only want to see Angola, right? Can you see Angola now? Their male gender has 42 life expectancy. Their female gender has 42 life expectancy. And both of them has 3,000 population. That means in Angola country, you have 6,000 people there. So I'm expecting, I'm not interested in seeing Nigeria. I'm not interested in seeing Gambia. I'm not interested in seeing Madagascar. I'm only interested in seeing any information where the country is Angola. Do you get? So I'm now selecting all the information from this table only where the country is what? It's Angola. So control enter. So it is asking me saying that unknown column Angola in where course. So actually this is supposed to be in quotation mark. So that's why it is returning an error. Now let's run it again. So because that's a text data type, that's why. So control enter. So can you see, I'm only seeing all the information relating to Angola only. Please, do you understand that? Or should I come again?
Understood, sir.
What do you say?
Understood, sir.
Great. Now let's say I want to see only information about Nigeria. So I can say something like Nigeria. So this is data cleaning now. I'll be data exploratory, right? Can you see? I'm only seeing information about Nigeria. Now let's say I want something like average life expectancy. You know that column when it is greater than or equals to 50. So do you think I will wrap this 50 in quotation mark, yes or no, and why? Mr. Mohammed, the
Sir,
question goes to you.
sir, no, it's a
Why?
numeric data type.
Thank you. So what do you think this particular line of code, before I run it, what do you think it means? Select everything from continent where average life is greater than or equals to 50. What are the information that you are expecting?
So sir, that means you see information from Nigeria and I think only Nigeria from the data
Okay,
we have on this screen.
okay, what
Because
if
life expect and then Madagascar.
okay, let's run it first. Control
Okay,
enter,
sorry,
that's the
only Nigeria sir, with 52.
let's, let's run it. So it is only giving us Nigeria. So that means looking at this, Nigeria is the only continent that has greater than or equals to 50 life expectancy. Others have lower. So now let's say I change this one to less than. I will see all the countries except Nigeria, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you see? I see every country except Nigeria. Please, do you understand this? Please, hello. Okay, great. Can you see? I'm taking it one step after the other, so I don't want it to. I don't want us to confuse and to make mistake. Right. So we have select from where. So now let me try to ship another thing. So instead of where, we also have where. Let's leave this one. So now let's try to copy this again. So, okay. So we have something called order by. Okay. From the word order by, what do you think it means? When we say order by, what do you think it means? Like from the word English, what does it mean? Anyone? If you want to order something, what does it mean?
Arrange.
Exactly. So now let's try, let's say we want to arrange this particular population in order of in descending order. So we just say order by population. That's the country name. That's the column name. Population, population in descending. If you want to say descending, you write DSC. If you want to say ascending, you write ASC, right? So let's just write DESC. So I'll be expecting Gambia to be the first, followed by Madagascar, followed by Angola and Angola. Now let's try to run this one. Control enter. Okay, I think Nigeria is actually the first, followed by Gambia, followed by Madagascar. Can you see it is now arranged in
Descending
alphabetical.
on.
So I can also do the same thing in ascending order. Complete. Control V. Let me copy it and then let's try it. Can you see? 3,000 to 5,000. Do you understand that? You also
Yes, sir.
understand that? Why are others not speaking? Miss Baki, are you there? Miss Muniro, are you there? Okay. I guess they are in a place they cannot talk. It is quiet in
I'm
this
here.
place.
Oh, yeah, I'm
I
very
think
much
the
here.
challenge you are facing is the installation of the SQL. Probably it's not everybody that install it. So maybe
Hello,
we'll
did you hear
practice
me? I
it
said
on our
I'm
own
here.
later after the installation. Because like myself, I install SQL, but it's showing me a different type of this thing. I don't know. Maybe I didn't do the installation according to your specification.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Baki. I heard you. Thank you for being there. I will send a YouTube directive to you, Mr. Muhammad. So by the end of the class, please request for it. So
Thank you, sir.
okay. So let's just leave it like this. So what we have learned today, we've learned how to create a table. We've learned the basic keyword, that is the select, the from, the order by, the where clause, the order by clause, you have the select from. Then we've learned the table, how to insert values into the table. Then what else have we learned? We've learned the interface of SQL and why we are using SQL. So let's just take it one step after the other. So next class we move to because SQL does not have a whole lot of things actually inside it. We should be done with it in just 2 or 3 classes. There is not a lot going on with SQL, and it is very simple because you are just writing English, right? So we move a lot faster in the next 2 class. Then we should be done with our SQL, so we can face Python in the later weeks. Okay, so thank you so much everyone for joining. I hope. Okay, before, if you want to make this thing easier for us next class, please let's try to watch all the recordings. Can you see? There are a lot of new technical things that we'll learn. Please let's try to watch the recording so it will be easier for us to explain, and it will be easier for us to go by the explanation also in the next class. Okay, so thank you so much for joining everyone. I really appreciate. See you in the next class. Bye.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Have a
Uh,
nice week ahead.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you.